Hey, what is going on? This is your daily stimulus check updated information. There is this big push for a fourth stimulus check. A lot of Democrats in both the House of Representatives and in the Senate are trying to push for more stimulus. There's already been 3 stimulus payments going out, and they want to get a fourth one to go out. There is this $3.5 trillion stimulus plan, or it's a budget plan actually, and they're trying to get stimulus in this. But this is a 3.5 budget plan that they want to have Congress pass, because this is going to be a giant package that they're going to have to pass and try to get more funding for government. They're going to have to raise the debt ceiling, if you can believe it, to continue on with the printing of more money. There is a $1.2 trillion infrastructure plan that's been set up. So it looks like these Democrats, they're just going to be keep spending, keep going more and more debt. Now, as far as getting more stimulus checks, looks like there's a lot of things in place that are happening right now that are getting more stimulus checks to people, and those might end here pretty soon, and some of them might be extended out. So we're going to have to see which ones are going to be put into this new plan and which ones won't. Now, there is this big eviction ban, and there is this whole kicking people out of rentals and houses and things like that. So there is a big push for that. It looks like the Supreme Court overruled President Biden, who said that CDC can't actually do this whole eviction process. That in fact, Congress is the only one that can actually create some type of eviction moratorium or eviction halt on evictions. But there is a ton of money that's available to renters, and I'm going to cover a lot of those details for you in this video. So there is this giant Treasury Emergency Rental Assistance Fund. There's $46.5 billion available to renters. It says that $5.1 billion, 11% of the funding has been sent out to renters already so far. Now, the White House states that no state or local authority should delay distributing resources that have been provided by Congress to meet families' critical needs and prevent the tragedy of unnecessary eviction. Now, the eviction process looks like it's going to be going through now, but there is a lot of money available to those that need help of getting the getting your payments kind of move forward. There is local housing agency that's available for this money, but I don't know the whole process of getting it. You do have to prove that you were kind of under a distress during. So that Americans may also receive a stimulus boost if they can explain that has directly caused a loss of income, making it difficult to pay rent. Households will have to provide evidence that they're at a risk of homelessness, but the support will cover both missed and future rent payments. So for example, residents in Illinois can apply for a one-time grant of up to $25,000 to cover up to 15 months of missed rent. In Texas, is covering unpaid rent going as far back as last March, while New Yorkers can apply for the state's $2.7 billion program. So the payments are available, basically to people that are going to be getting evicted. The judges ruled that Congress must approve a ban on evictions, not the CDC. So the CDC is just a organization that's not part of Congress. It's just a government agency, but they have come out and said that there's a ban on evictions. Supreme Court basically is the highest court in the land, has said that you can't do that, and that the eviction process is going to move forward. So a lot of renters are going to be thrown out of their payments. I know a lot of people aren't happy about that, but most of the people I've seen that aren't happy about it are the ones that have basically been able to live rent free for the past year and a half. And eventually that has to stop. I think you can't just continue to not pay the rent. You got to be able to support yourself, but you have to be able to understand that landlords, apartment owners, they all have to pay. They got loans out to create these buildings or these houses, and so they have to try to find help where they can. But if you do need to get some of that renter's assistance, you just got to go to the local housing agency. And I believe you can just Google that, go to local housing agency, and then look for the housing agency in your area, see if you can't pick up some of that renter's assistance. So good news for a lot of the other states, because the federal government hasn't sent out another stimulus payments, but each state received close to, billions and billions of dollars really from the $350 billion total that went out. So some of the states are actually taking that money and then giving it back out to the people in that area, which is good. Now, Florida, it looks like they're going to be sending out $1,000 payments to teachers and educators. They're also going to be sending out $1,000 payments to frontline workers. That's EMT, firefighters, police. All of them definitely need it. Now, I do believe that they should be sending out stimulus payments to other places, other people that need it the most. In fact, there's a lot of people in Florida that definitely need another stimulus check, which would be good. But a lot of the other states looks like they're just going to be supporting teachers at this time. I don't know why they're singling out teachers, because there are a ton of other people that probably need it the most. But $2,000 is going to be going to teachers in Irvine, Texas, to try to get them back to work. There are going to be some other cities in Texas that are going to be getting more stimulus. Also, Colorado, they sent out $375 checks. Tennessee, Georgia, they're sending out $1,000 checks to teachers also. And this is something that if you are a teacher, you are definitely going to be benefiting from this. New Mexico is sending out checks. Washington, D.C. and Vermont are also part of this new relief program that they're going to be sending out. I know New York has a giant $2.1 billion program to send out to, I think it's undocumented workers in the state of New York. Not really sure on that details, but that is something that that is something that New York has set up to give more payments out to everybody. So there is this big renewed push for $2,000 payments. This is something that there is a change.org petition that has been close to 3 million signatures that are trying to get these reoccurring payments set up. Me personally, I think eventually what's going to happen is they're going to have to come out with some type of universal basic income. It's just one of those things. It's inevitable. It's not going to help the dollar, and the purchasing power of the dollar is going to absolutely get crushed on it. But it looks like the federal government, that's the only way they know how to do things, is that taking the money and distributing it out to the people that they tax the most. So I think they're going to have to do that. Now, they're going to have to set up some type of system that's a lot better than using banks or checks. Because right now, those are old school digital type thing or analog type things. They need to get with the digital program now. The Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, he has come out before and said that they're looking to get some type of stable coin for them. If they do that, personally, I think this is going to be an app from the Federal Reserve. It's going to be called like a FedNow coin. They'll drop that into your app or to your phone, and you take that app and they'll put money into that account, and then you'll be able to go spend it. It's going to be very controversial because the banks aren't going to be happy about it. The government probably is not going to be real happy about it. But I think that's the only way they're going to be able to get more stimulus out to everybody. Right now, it's such a gridlock of Congress. It's people in Congress and they're taking off recess for the summer. It's them that have to get through these bills, and they have to pass these bills in order to get these into President Biden's desk so he can sign it. Biden really has no control. He has no authority to create any type of stimulus or get checks out. It's Nancy Pelosi, it's Chuck Schumer rallying all the people in House and Senate, Congress in total to vote on a bill that will get more stimulus out to everybody. And if Jerome Powell can get those payments out to everybody directly, then he's going to bypass the banks and he's going to bypass Congress, which I'm not sure they're going to be real thrilled about. But again, the Federal Reserve probably has more power than the federal government does at this time. Now, with this new $3.5 trillion stimulus package, or the budget plan that Nancy Pelosi is trying to put together, they're going to try to raise taxes on corporations. So they're going to try to raise the corporation tax from 21% up to 28%. Now, if they do this, they could raise $800 billion from just raising the corporate tax rate. Now, one person in Congress has said that if they can raise this corporate tax rate to 28%, they'll raise $800 billion, and that $800 billion will actually be a pair of stimulus checks that will go out $1,400 each. So that would be something that, this pair of stimulus checks would be $1,400 each, and that could be a possibility of the next fourth stimulus check. But they're going to have to pass this corporate tax rate hike to 3 in this budget plan. If they can do that, they possibly could take that money out and give it back as a new stimulus payments, and possibly even 2 stimulus checks. 600,000 payments have been sent out to people in California. It's called the Golden State stimulus checks. So that's 600,000. There's going to be a lot more. I think 2/3 of people in California are going to be receiving a stimulus check. $12 billion total in stimulus is going to be sent out. Now, to me, California, I think they're doing the right thing. They received close to $30 billion from the federal government in the American Rescue Plan. They're turning around and taking that money and they're giving it back to the citizens in that area. I think a lot of the other governments should be doing the same thing. But California right now they've already sent out 600,000 payments. A lot more is going to be going out. So it's the same qualifications. Less than $75,000 a year is going to be giving you $600, and then $500 additional for dependents. So if you do have a way to, if you live in California and you haven't filed your returns, you might want to do that before October 15th. That is the deadline. If you do that, then you'll be able to pick up this stimulus check. One of the benefits from this is that you don't have to have a social security number. You can actually have an ITIN number, which a lot of undocumented people that live in California have. You can use the ITIN number and you can add that into your filings. And then if they look at that, they'll send you out a stimulus check. But as long as you qualify for it, then you'd be picking up that check. They're going to direct deposit or they'll send you a payment in the mail. So if you have any questions, you can drop those questions in the comments below. This is your daily stimulus check updated information.